Okay. Why are you here? Which course is it? Sure.
What is the course now?
Yeah. Okay. Okay. We are going through the topic of volume studies. We have talked about collecting volume on segments, collecting volume on intersections, and intersections can be signalized, unsignalized. Then we talked about collecting volume for a network, and network can be limited network or it can be the entire state. Okay, and then we started talking about specialized counting studies. In specialized counting studies, we are interested in finding out the demand of an area. Okay, demand of one or multiple areas. Okay. So when you are interested in finding out the demand of area, the entire area, not for segments or intersections or roads, then we call it a specialized counting study. Okay. So we have listed 3 specialized counting studies. Okay. One of them was origin destination, which is this one. Okay. We discussed how to collect the data, and there was an example which we discussed using this matrix and the adjustment factor. You have to adjust the matrix and so on. Okay. Moving on to the second type of specialized counting study, which is the Cordon count. Okay. Now, what can I say about specialized counting study? We are interested in finding out what demand of area. Okay. So, Cordon means an imaginary boundary around the area of your interest. Okay. I am trying to find out the demand of a specific area, a special area. Okay. And I make a boundary around that area. It's not a physical boundary, okay? It's an imaginary. So you make it in your sheet. Some of you are interested. So you make it on a map, okay? It's not, so there is no physical wall there. There is no physical boundary there, okay? There's like marking lines on the map that this area under these lines is my area of interest. Okay, so this is the Cordon which I am making on the map. Okay. As I said, the Cordon counts are done for special areas. Okay. Now, what could be a special area for a traffic engineer? Which area would be of interest to a traffic engineer? The area which has what? Huh? High volume. And what will generate high volume? What would this area have which will have high volume? Which will generate high volume? Schools? Okay. Anything else? Workplaces. Okay. See, we are going now from schools to workplaces. Okay. We need to grow. But both examples are correct. What? Huh? Mall also. See? The lady came out now. Huh? Airports. Thinking later, huh? Okay. So all these examples are correct. So it can be any of these areas. Normally commercial areas, which have lots of malls and workplaces. Okay, normally commercial areas. They call it CBD. CBD stands for Central Business District. Business meaning the commercial area. Okay. What is the aim of doing a Cordon count? Aim is to find out the accumulation of vehicles. Okay, how many vehicles are accumulated in the area? Accumulation means total, right? Total. Okay, so we are interested in finding out total number of vehicles inside the area which we made the cordon around. Okay, so we are making the cordon, right? Cordon means what? Cordon means boundary. In this case, it's imaginary. Cordon means boundary. Okay, so we are making the boundary. Okay, so there are few things you have to keep in mind when you are making the boundary. Okay, because you are doing it. So you can increase it or decrease it. Okay, you have to make sure area or the boundary is covering enough part of land to be called an area. Okay, we are dealing with specialized counting studies, right? Meaning studies which are related to the area. Okay, so then you cannot make your cordon around a building, or your cordon cannot have just one or two streets. Okay, I will make a cordon around this highway. No, it's not an area then. Okay, then you are doing some other type of study. You are not doing a cordon count. Okay, so make sure you cover the entire area. You cover enough space to be called an area in the cordon. Okay, at the same time you have to make sure that your area has uniform activities, uniform type. Okay, let me take the examples, the example with the schools, right? You thought of the education area, right? So now if you are doing this for the educational area, you cannot make your boundary around a specific school, that this school is bigger, okay, Indian school, or what's the other school which is? No, not in that line, inside the other street. Bayan. Okay. So you cannot say, since this is the biggest school in the area, I'll just make the boundary around that. No, you have to cover the entire area, the small schools and the campus and everything. Clear? So should be big enough. But it doesn't mean you will cover the entire Isa town, because the entire Isa town is not education area. It has markets and other places we love, right? Okay, clear? Why? Because if you make it uniform, you are covering the area, but the entire area is of the same type, then you can do proper planning, because now you know why the vehicles are coming in the area. Okay, so I know the entire area is educational, so whoever is coming is for this purpose. If you mix it, then you don't know why people are coming here, why people are leaving. Why we have traffic jam in the morning, why we have in the afternoon, and so on and so forth. You don't know, because you have mixed everything in the area. Okay, so cover entire area, but of the same type. Don't mix. Clear? Your cordon, your boundary should cross the roads at the mid-block locations, at the segments. Don't make them cross at the intersections. Okay, why? Because if it is crossing at the intersection, what will happen? A car will come to the boundary. So this is my boundary, the car has come, and now it's an intersection. The car may cross the boundary, or it may go right or left. It's confusing, right? Okay, and obviously at the intersection there are more chances, or you need more people to see this, whether the car is crossing or not. Okay, but if it is a mid-block, a road segment, the car comes to the boundary, it can only cross, it can only go forward, or if it's coming from the other side, it can only come in. Got it? So work becomes easier. Another thing is, if you have a natural feature around the road, around the area, make your boundary part of that feature. Okay, going back to the example of the school area, education area. So if you look at the East Town education area, you have 3 highways which are covering the area. The area is like a triangle. Okay, here you have 16 December highway, here you have the National Charter highway, the Screenline highway, and on that side you have the Sheikh Salman highway. Okay, so if I am on this side of 16 December highway, I am in the area, right? If I am on that side, I am in some other area. Got it? If I am on this side of Istiqlal highway, I am in the area. If I am the other side, I am out of the area. Got it? So if somebody is doing cordon count for our educational area, then these highways make perfect boundaries, right? Okay, so you will just make your boundaries around these highways or along these highways. Got it? Okay. Another example, for example, if you are doing it for, very common example in Bahrain, if you are doing it for Tubli, let's say. So on one side of Tubli we have the sea. Okay, sea is the boundary. Okay, so whatever boundary you are making, you will make it part of the coastline. Okay, the coastline of the sea will be part of the boundary. Okay, so you are on this side of the line, you are inside the area. At that side of the line, you are swimming or drowning, whatever. Okay, so it becomes the boundary. Now, what will it do for my study? If you have this type of feature, for example, if you have a highway, so can you cross the highway with your car from any point you like? No, they are intersections, right? And these intersections are not many, one or two maybe. Okay, so you have to only look for one or two crossing points. Okay, same thing with the sea. Okay, to cross the sea you need what? You need what? You need boats, right? If you are on the boat, you are not my problem. We are doing a traffic study then. Okay, but then we have the bridges, right? The causeways. How many causeways you will have? One. So how many crossing points? One. Got it? Okay, so making these features as part of the boundary reduces my work. I don't have to look for hundreds of points. I will look for less. Clear? Clear? This is a cordon count study. Started at 4 a.m. ended at 5 p.m. Okay? Not Ramadan. Obviously. You'll be eating at that time. Okay, both times. Okay. So you start now, but these times are not fixed. The timings are not fixed. It depends upon the type of area. The study should start before the activities in the area start. And the study should end when the activities in the area have finished. Okay? So for example, if you are doing it for school areas, then the activities start at 6. The start point should be before 6. The activities end around 3. So the end point should be after 3. Okay? If you are doing it for a commercial area, then activities start around afternoon. So before that. And they will go late in the night, 11, 12 o'clock. So the study will finish after that. Got it? Clear? Okay. Now you can see they are measuring these two things. How many vehicles entered and how many vehicles left the area. So you have people at the crossing points and these people are counting these two things. How many vehicles entering, how many vehicles leaving. So now you can see if I have less points, I will need less people. Okay, people or sensors, whatever. Got it? Because I am counting the crossings, right? So if number of points for crossing are less, then I need less people. Okay, or less sensors. Okay. First row, no values, right? But you see, number of vehicles 250. How? And what are they doing? What activity? These 250 vehicles are doing what? But 1 hour, 4 to 5 a.m. 250 vehicles. So from 4 to 5 a.m. these 250 vehicles are inside the area doing what? But the vehicles are doing what? They are parked. Okay? They are parked on the side of the street and so on. Maybe some of them were for internal trips, maybe they were moving, but they did not leave the area. Okay? Now, since there were no vehicles entering and leaving, so you know this 250 is constant. Okay? If there were vehicles entering and leaving, then this 250 will not be constant. It will keep on changing, right? So that's why we said we should start the survey before the activities begin. So we can have the first number. Okay? This first number is very important to know how many vehicles are already inside the area. All the other things depend upon that. Clear? Okay? So 5 to 6 a.m. 100 vehicles entered. How many are already inside? 250. 100 entered? 350. And then 20 left. So total? 330. Got it? Next time interval, 150 added and 40 left. So 330 plus 150 minus 40, you got 440. Clear? Okay? So if the first number is not accurate, all these values will be wrong. Okay? So this is how all these values are calculated. They did it till 5 p.m. You can see the last number and the first number. They're almost same, right? It's not a requirement. They can be different. Here the difference is very small, but the difference can be bigger as well. No problem. But it's an indication that the timing was correct. Okay, if the numbers are very close to each other, the first and the last, that means the timing was good. Okay, you did it before the study. Whoever entered for the activities has already, almost all of them have left. Clear? Okay, and then you can see it is increases and then decreases. Increase meaning that people are still entering for the activities. Decrease meaning that they are leaving. The activities are ending. Clear? You can make this sort of a graph as well. So we have time on the x-axis and number of vehicles on the y-axis, the last column on the y-axis. Okay, so you can see there is a line for all vehicles and then there are two lines, one for automobiles, one for trucks. Okay, so in some cases this could be important. For example, if you are doing it for industrial area, for industrial area trucks are more important. If you are doing it for education area, then maybe buses are more important. So from the total you can prepare different counts. Okay, so all means what? Trucks plus automobiles. Okay, but trucks are reported separately here because they could be important for planning. Clear? Okay, this is a study we did for the diplomatic area. That area also has a lot of workplaces, offices and hotels and embassies and whatnot. Okay, so they started before 8. I don't know why, and I don't know how much time before 8. They were students. Okay, your big brothers. So they started before 8. They ended at 12. They were hungry, obviously. They went there, ate something, and they slept. Okay. Okay, so this is the study they did, and we did another study for this area in 2020 as well. But you can have an idea what type of area we can select inside Bahrain as well if you have to do a cordon count. This is a representation of a cordon count. So you see the dotted line is a cordon. Cordon means what? A boundary. Okay, and then you see these lines are the crossings. Okay, so they are what? Streets and roads. Okay, these are the streets and roads. Some of them are two-way and some of them you can see on the top are one-way. And they have listed how many people are entering from each point, entering and leaving from each point, whatever is possible. And this study was for 24 hours and you can see the numbers for the entire 24 hours as well. Okay, numbers are very close to each other again because you complete the whole cycle. Clear? Any questions? Okay, then we have the screen line count. What is the screen line? That thing behind you on the window. That's a screen. That's a screen line. Okay, this curtain sort of a thing is called a screen line. Okay, so a screen line is between two areas. So this screen line is between two areas, right? Inside the class and the outside. Okay, boring and fun. You don't have to say yes to everything. Okay, so we have two areas now. Okay, there is a screen line between two areas, and again you have to mark it on the map. You are marking it. Okay, so the points which I mentioned for the cordon also apply here as well because you are doing it. What were the points for the cordon when you are making the cordon? What are the things you have to keep in mind? So here it's not a thing because we are not including any area. I'm just making it between two areas. So size is not a problem here. What other points? It should not be at the intersection. Good. What else? Yeah. If there's a feature, okay, mountains, rivers, sea, highway, railway track, something like this between the two areas, you make it as a boundary. Okay. What was the reason? Minimize the crossing points. Okay, so all these things apply here as well. Got it? Okay. Now, many years ago, for you, for me, 1 week ago, Okay, for you many years ago, for me 1 week ago, we did the origin destination count. Okay, in the origin destination count we discussed that how to collect the data, how to adjust the metrics. Okay, just believe me, we did. Okay, Anna Simon, I am not lying. Okay, so we did, even if you don't remember, we did. Okay, so in that example we were having 4 areas, right? We are having 4 areas. Here how many areas we have? 2. So this is a small origin destination count. So anything we discuss for origin destination, how to collect the data, how to adjust the metrics, everything applies here as well in the same way. Okay, clear? Osama?
Yes.
Clear?
Yes.
Sure?
Why don't we do the origin and destination study?
Sorry?
Why don't we do the origin and destination study? Why do we have another Screenline count study?
Because for 2 areas, so limited. We are only interested in the people who are just crossing the 2 areas, that's it.
Between the 2 areas?
Between the 2 areas. Okay, origin destination is usually bigger. You don't limit yourselves to 2 areas. Okay, and if you limit yourself, then it becomes what? Screenline.
So the origin and destination, the vehicles can travel from outside the areas, the 4 areas to the areas, right?
Yeah, even in that case, yeah, you can. But in this case, it has more chances of happening in this case than in origin destination, because origin destination you are usually covering a bigger part of the land. Okay, so to have trips from outside, it has very, very low chances as compared to this one. Clear? Okay, so you see the top map is showing 2 areas. Okay, I cannot reach there, but we have 1 area and the other area is on the other side of the line. Okay, on top of the map. Okay, between them we have a river. Okay, so they made the river as part of the Screenline. Okay, to reduce the number of crossing points. But you can see it's not helping. Even with the river, they have lots of crossing points. Okay, so maybe they have some new type of vehicles which become boats whenever they want, something like this. Okay. Okay, so and look at this. I thought this Amsterdam or Venice or something. For them, water means roads. Okay, there are cities in the world, Amsterdam, Venice, where the entire traffic is via water. Okay, they have waterways. Okay, so in those cases, then you will change your study. Okay, anyways, coming to this diagram, you can see in this diagram we have 3 things. Okay, one is the total. Total, how many people crossed your screen line? Okay, so they went from 1 to 2 or 2 to 1. Total. Okay, so they crossed the screen line. From the total, we have some internal crossings and some external crossings. Internal means what? They started from one area, went to the other. Okay, so either from 1 to 2 or 2 to 1. This is internal. So they crossed the screen line, but they did not go outside to my 2 areas. External are they crossed the screen line, but it did not end here. Okay, they went somewhere else. Okay. Or maybe they came from somewhere else, so they were not from these 2 areas. So they came from somewhere else, they crossed the screen line and they ended at one of the areas. Okay, or it can be both. They came from somewhere else, they wanted to go somewhere else, but they in the process they crossed the screen line. Okay, so all these cases are external. Okay, so there are people between the 2 areas, we call them internal. Anybody who is coming or going outside these 2 areas, we call it external. Clear? Okay. An example of a screen line count is between Bahrain and Saudi. Okay, the Khobar area of Saudi Arabia. Okay, so we have the causeway, right? So what's the screen line here? Between these 2 areas, Khobar and Bahrain. What's the screen line? What is my screen line here? The bridge is what? Screen line?
C.
The C is a screen line. Okay, skin line is the boundary, right? So what's the boundary? See, bridge is what? Crossing. Bridge is the crossing. Okay. In one of the previous lectures, I already gave you a link for the Causeway Authority website, and they publish this data on daily basis. They update how many people crossed from Bahrain side and Saudi side. And they even mention, not maybe in that data, but they have a newsletter or something every month. And they mention how many were internal and how many were external. How many people crossed and went from Saudi to somewhere else. Okay, like how many people crossed the causeway and then went to Qatar or Kuwait or something. Okay, so they mention the internal as well as the external crossings. Clear? Any questions? Okay, so this is the end of this chapter, and then we will have the quiz inshallah. Okay, after Eid. 3 and 4. Okay, thank you.
Sen gittiler.